Wounds immunity at some point collapses following prolonged stress reactions in other organ systems too. So acute stress, what is it? A short-term response by the body's nervous system. How long acute stress lasts may vary. The response can last for a few minutes or a few weeks. Okay, that's acute. Effects. Blood sugar levels rise. That's why insulin rises. Additional red blood cells are released to carry extra oxygen to try to compensate because you're shallow breathing. Peripheral blood vessels constrict, right? Pulse quickens, blood pressure rises, digestion stops. When you're in stress, the blood goes to what area? Does it go to your muscles or your critical functioning organs? Not critical, sorry, your non-critical functioning organs like digestion. Do you need good digestion to run away from the bear? Right? You don't. You need your reproductive organs to run away from the bear. Do you know what I mean? So where do you know what I mean? So the non-critical functions and areas don't get the blood, don't get the function. If you keep having chronic stress, what organs are going to get the most impact, right? It's those non-critical areas, which are critical over time, right? Digestion, reproduction, immunity. You don't need that when you're trying to run away from something, right? What you need is your blood going to where? The motor system, the muscles, right? So the body that's its mechanism in stress. You get it? So it's not good for digestion to be in stress because you're losing digestive function. You're losing immune function. You're losing all the areas that you don't want to lose. And it's being depressed anyway. For chronic stress, chronic occurs when continuous acute stress responses keep the body on alert continuously, negatively affecting health. The ongoing stress response causes the release of a hormone called cortisol. Okay, when chronic stress stimulates cortisol production, the daily cycle of cortisol level is disrupted. You need cortisol to make your body less painful. It's you've heard of cortisone, right? Prednisone. Your body is an incredible pharmacy. It all begins in the brain. It all goes from above down healing, right? Your brain is the biggest pharmacy in the world. It produces every chemical. It produces that's why the body can heal itself. It produces all the prednisone, if you want to call that cortisol, that it needs to lower pain, right? It just needs to have the right lifeline and support it and remove interference, right?
I thought you didn't like prednisone.
No, I don't like prednisone because that's the artificial cortisol, right?
Okay.
I'm talking your body makes it all yourself. It is, as long as you don't have interference. That means a healthy nervous system and spine, and you support it, sleep, physical, all the lifestyle things we're going to touch on tonight, okay? Love them. I'm saying a lot of points there, but your body, your brain is a pharmacy. It's the biggest pharmacy in the world. There's no other pharmacy. It produces things that make you feel good, like endorphins, and it produces everything. Okay? And it produces things that help with pain. As long as there's no interference, right? And that you have a healthy body and a healthy nervous system. Excessive stress can cause the adrenal glands to become exhausted, which prevents them from producing adequate cortisol. This can cause the cortisol level to decrease, which can lead to hypoglycemia. Right? You get irritable. It becomes hypoglycemic. So stress and cortisol. Cortisol is an important hormone which is involved in regulation of blood pressure, insulin release of blood sugar, maintenance, and rapid fat and carbohydrate metabolism. This talk is being taped, so if you wanted to hear it again, which I recommend, you can pause it at a screen and just sort of read these points if you wanted to. Because admittedly, I'm probably going a little quick, but I do want to get to tips and points and strategies for you, okay? But if you wanted to pause it at anything, you always can do that. Unnaturally high levels of a cortisol can result in blood sugar irregularities, creating fatigue, immune system deficiency, anxiety, panic attack, depression, and increased weight. Not good, right? So here's some simple strategies. Strategy secrets to blast stress and boost energy by 300%. Or boost your cortisol. Do you know what I mean? Strategies to boost your pharmacy producing what it needs to be healthy, right? We need to have a healthy nerve flow, spinal care, adjustments, traction, decompressions, strategies that are proven and helpful to help the spine and nervous system be itself strong and healthy, right? Well, what else builds more innate life force in us, and more to blast stress and all that? Well, exercise increases our oxygen. Meditation increases oxygen in our body. Relaxes us. Body work like massage, right? Anything, shiatsu, helps us to deal with stress, isn't it? Breathing drills. Water. Filtered and lots of it. All right? We are made of water. We're mostly water. 70% water. If you're eating cooked food a lot, you're not getting your water. If you're doing diuretic type things like popping salted foods, processed foods, you're taking water away from your body, right? So I'm a big advocate of nutrition, playing a huge role, but this is so important too. They're all important, right? They work if you want the highest level of health. The best way to know if you're getting enough water in you, that means raw foods and fluid, right, is look at your urine. It should be light colored, okay, all the time. So food, unprocessed foods and regular light meals of whole plant foods, okay. There's specific nerves to your organs. T9, right about here, is your nerve to your adrenal glands, okay. Some people have degeneration at and around T9. Some people have bad alignment at and around T9. I definitely want to check that. If you've got a lot of stress, I want to make sure there's no interference. But remember, it's not as simplistic as this, because your healing in your body is all from above, down, inside out. It all flows through a healthy spine, starting from the brain, your computer, right? Okay? But I also want to look at each level. So allergies, when you're not producing enough from your adrenal glands, you're definitely more susceptible to allergies, hives, blood sugar problems, sleep problems. I was just saying to a person today who's getting audited at her work in the next 3 days, she's having trouble sleeping. So I just said the connection is pretty pure. And I checked her adrenals. Said that, I've been giving her adjustments for a while now. Unfortunately, she just had a car accident, which just put her back now. But she was great results, improvement in her alignment, and so on, and doing well with her health. But unfortunately, car accident. But anyway, she's got a lot of stress right now because of being audited, and she's not sleeping well. So I explained the connection between her adrenals and how it's affecting her sleep. Because she's exhausting them, and adrenals are your gland that so many people have exhaustion in, and that's why part of the reason why you're not sleeping well. Okay, so these are levels of your spine that connect your organs. Okay, so here's a technique that is just acronyms. I recommend you write things down on your computer, right? I mean, on a sticky, and put it on your computer. If you're working on a computer a lot, you're sitting, that you have helpful things in front of you to remind you how important things like. How important is your health? I mean, we can go through, are we replaceable at work? Are you replaceable? We all are, aren't we, right? I mean, in a way, it's not, your priority is what are your priorities, right? You got to look at your priorities, your values. And I'm not standing on a pedestal here. I sometimes miss my priorities, right? Like I forget to do technique like this, to breathe deep. Or my nutrition is less than optimal. Or, something like that. But or I don't do the best thing and be there for my family, So I'm just saying, family number one, health number two. They did surveys of people's values, right? Number one was family, right? Number two was health, and then three was things like energy and time, So you gotta remember your values. This helps if you write things down and you of all the different things and all the different therapies that I do recommend people have through lifestyle recommendations and so on, I'd say doing this is the least that people do. That means making time to meditate and breathe deep. But yet it's the most profound in many ways, right, for our health. Half the world are doing things like movement with their body and breathing deep, right? Not to just be stronger muscle-wise, right? They're doing it to create more healing, more life force. How many people participate here in yoga or Tai Chi or any of that stuff? Yeah? 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 Good. Enjoy it. So, how often per week do you do it, right? And maybe you're doing it a few times, maybe daily, but that's why I designed, we're going to come up to a slide here, my breathing time up. That every day, right, you participate with your breathing and meditate. That's very powerful, right? So here's a triumph technique. There's lots of techniques, right? Choose one, choose a couple, choose anything that will put your body back into balance and to counter the stress, mental, emotional stresses that we all have. We're all, can be hyper busy in our world today, right? So, take a deep breath, relax as you exhale, imagine the tension leaving your body, look up and smile, right? The attitude of gratitude. Mark the heaviness of your arms and legs. Perfect your posture. So, sit tall and have a good posture when you're doing these meditating things. and harmonize your thoughts into happiness in the moment. Pretty good technique. If we